everyone, welcome back to the Saguaro video series. This is our final video in the video series. We're just going to be talking about our next steps and what we learned from this project over the last couple years. So now we're just going to do a recap on all three aspects of this project: saguaro planting, nest box installation and monitoring, and invasive species removal. Starting first with saguaro planting. So it is now December of 2024. We finally planted all 6,800 of our saguaros. This was the first saguaro planting project that Tucson Audubon has done. And so we've learned a lot about saguaro planting. One of the big challenges we had with this project was sourcing all 6,800 saguaros, especially at the size classes we were looking for, which is about 2 to 6 inches tall. Many nurseries around Tucson do sell saguaros, but most nurseries sell saguaros that are over a foot tall, because that's when the saguaros become profitable enough to sell. We were really fortunate to work with two nurseries, Nighthawk Natives, who grew saguaros for us from seed, and the Carlink Ranch, who helped us procure a lot of our saguaros that were already growing at their nursery. We were really lucky to find these two sources, and in the future we'll probably look at planting saguaros that are a little bit bigger. One of the other things I really hope to do in the future is expand the monitoring component of this project to include looking at what types of nurse trees saguaros do best under when they're first growing, to look at effects of watering saguaros versus not watering saguaros when they're first planted, and also caging saguaros. We worked with a variety of land managers to plant all of our saguaros, including Santa Rita Experimental Range, Lincoln Park here in Tucson, Tortolita Mountain Park, Tortolita Preserve, amongst other places. We also mapped all of the saguaros that we planted, and so if we ever have more funding to pursue monitoring in the future, we'll be able to go and check on all the locations that we planted saguaros in. We're also really open to sharing that data with anyone who's interested in pursuing some of that monitoring as well. Now we're going to hear a little more about nest boxes from Olya.
This project was a lot of firsts for us, and we learned so much. While purple martins did not end up using our nest boxes, we are not totally discouraged. When we did a similar experiment with Lucy's warblers, which is a species that was also not known to use nest boxes, it took some time for us to develop the right nest box and the right installation technique to get them to nest in our boxes. Research takes time, so we're just eager to get out there and see what the next breeding season is going to bring to us. We're getting early approval from other secondary cavity nesters. We had cactus wrens, brown-crested flycatchers, and American kestrels nesting in our nest boxes. We also had Gila woodpeckers and western screech owls using our boxes for roosting. So I'm definitely excited. In the next phase of this project, we're going to continue to monitor the nest boxes, but we're also going to install more lures to attract purple martins to our nest boxes. So this is going to consist of installing song players and small decoys that will signify an occupied breeding colony to any passing martins. And so hopefully they're going to want to stop by and check us out. We're also are going to be combining everything we've learned from the project and all the features of those three selected nest boxes into the ultimate nest box design that will feature all the characteristics desirable to the purple martins, and it will be a durable, inexpensive, and long-lasting nest box design that will become that conservation tool that we're hoping to get.
Now we're going to go to Tony to hear his final thoughts on the invasive grass management portion of this project.
Invasive plant management is a daunting task, and when you're faced with the prospect of treating several acres, or where do I start on this project, My recommendation is start on the edges, work your way back towards the center, or if you have small satellite patches, attacking those first before you just sink a bunch of time into a heavily infested area. Because doing that edge work or treating the satellite populations can stop the spread while you work back towards the center of a major population. So far in this project, we've treated over 250 acres of heavily invaded Sonoran Desert, primarily removing buffalo grass, fountain grass, and stinknet throughout the Tucson region. These species are highly invasive and pose fire threats to our saguaros. Focusing on these species has allowed us to mitigate the spread of invasives throughout the Tucson region and partner up with agencies and organizations we haven't worked with in the past. Chemical treatment allows for you to cover a lot more ground, but you have limited times of the year where you're able to do that. You need the plants to be green and growing, and there is also hesitancy of chemical usage. So planning and coordinating manual removal efforts is a great way to get rid of those barriers to chemical hesitancy and increase the partnership and get the work done that's necessary. We just need to work as a team and come together as a community to save the Sonoran Desert.
Thanks for sticking around and following our video series. This has been a really fun project to work on. There's still a lot of work to do with saguaro planting, nest box installation and monitoring, and invasive species. Saguaros are a really slow growing plant. They take a long time to grow flowers, have fruit, grow arms, and so there's a lot of work to do in between now and when our planted saguaros are going to support all of the wildlife that they do when they're mature. We're really excited to continue doing some of that work. So stay tuned, keep following us on our social media to hear about all our restoration projects. And until then, I'll see you later. Thanks.